Indonesia's largest bank and company by market valuation is known as the Bank Central Asia, a financial institution owned by no other than the country's famous billionaire known as the Hartono brothers. They, however, are in a unique position. You see, the Bank Central Asia, or BCA for short, is a company that, according to its official public reports and the official stock exchange, is the most valuable company ever in the entire Indonesian country. By a quick comparison, the Bank Central Asia as of the time of writing is valued at more than $70 billion. Yes, you heard that right, $70 billion. This simply makes Bank Central Asia the 187th largest company in the entire world by market valuation. It also makes BCA the largest ever company by valuation in the entire Southeast Asian region. Far more than Singapore's large banks, to which the largest is known as the DBS Bank, which is valued at just $65 billion. Far more than Thailand's largest company by valuation, known as the AOT, which is the Airport Holdings Company, valued at nearly $30 billion. More than Malaysia's largest, which is known as Maybank, valued at $23.4 billion. And the Philippines' largest company, known as SM Investments, valued at $18 billion. Yet, despite all of this being true, the BCA Group is actually far from reality, and here's why. There are many variables that determine a company's valuation. Often, investors perceive it to be the company's balance sheet, which simply shows how much the company is holding in terms of wealth or assets in accounting standards, and how much debt it holds or liabilities. But either way, there are many ways for an investor to speculate on how valuable a company should be. But here's the problem. The market is always wrong. Getting a company's valuation based on many variables is difficult. Hence, it opens up opportunities for a bubble market, which is simply a saying that something has become too overvalued. And such is the case for Bank Central Asia. Indonesia's largest bank and company is valued at over $70 billion, yet it is a company that only reported to have sales of over $6.1 billion, which, if we compare it back to the original companies such as DBS, has more than double than that of BCA at $12.3 billion. Furthermore, even if we say valuation is based on net income, then so it is. The net income of DBS is double that of BCA at over $4.9 billion, yet BCA's net income is just $2.2 billion. Furthermore, the assets held by DBS are even massively more than BCA. The assets held by DBS are $536 billion, yet BCA only holds assets worth $86 billion. Furthermore, when we take a closer look at the financial metric known as the price to sales and price to earnings ratio, we will see that the price to sales of BCA exploded from 6 to over 12 in just 6 years, and a price to earnings of 21.6 to over 37.6 in the same period. It is simply suggesting that the valuation has increased despite meager growth. What does this simply mean? Well, if anything, one should raise the question of why Bank Central Asia has the highest valuation in all of Southeast Asia, despite not having the right financial data to back its valuation. It should raise a bubble territory to some degree on the fact that Bank Central Asia is indeed overvalued, and investors are scheming on its valuation as if it has become a casino. Now, you may think that I might be wrong, because I may indeed be wrong. A company's valuation is not solely focused on its financial data, sales, assets, or whatever it is in that balance sheet. There are many factors that can determine a company. For instance, its future value. This is where things become crucial for the stock market because most of the time, investors tend to speculate that a company will overperform and deliver exceeding growth which eventually will match its valuation. Such is the case for Bank Central Asia, which may imply its tremendous valuation. Because what sets BCA apart from any other company around Southeast Asia is the fact that it is home to the largest domestic market. It simply means that it holds the largest opportunity around the region, hence, speculation on its future is big. For instance, as reported by analysis, the future growth of BCA will grow massively in just a few short years. From 78 trillion Indonesian rupiahs of revenues and 37 trillion rupiahs of net income around 2022 to over 104 trillion rupiahs of revenue and 47 trillion of net income by the end of 2024. But do not take note that overpopulation is still a play here, despite massive potential, because if there's anything that we can learn from the past year, it is the fact that overvaluation always happens, and when it does not end well. But anyway, do let us know what you think, and as always, this video is for entertainment purposes only and does not serve as a financial guide. Thanks for watching.